On October 21, Liberal Democratic Party (LDP) President Takaichi was nominated as Japan's 104th Prime Minister, marking the launch of the Takaichi cabinet in coalition with Nippon Ishin no Kai Japan Innovation Party as an outside supporter. Using daily public opinion data from Green Ship Company, which conducts continuous polling on cabinet approval ratings and party support rates, we take a detailed, high-resolution look at the new Takaichi administration. Amid the low approval ratings of the previous Ishiba cabinet, the new Takaichi cabinet, Japan's first led by a female prime minister, has generated strong optimism. According to Green Ship's survey, cabinet approval at the time of formation was an exceptionally high 71%. Support among men reached 76.5%, compared to 66.6% among women, showing a slightly stronger approval from men. Nearly 90% of LDP supporters back the Takaichi cabinet, as do about 90% of Sanseido supporters and more than 80% of Democratic Party for the People (DPFP) supporters. In contrast, approval among Komeito supporters is declining and is now falling below 50%, reflecting the impact of the coalition's breakup. Green Ship's daily polling also reveals that Sanseido's support has been declining since mid-September. After the start of the LDP presidential race on September 22, Sanseido's support rate dropped by 2 to 3 percentage points overall, losing momentum. Enthusiastic Sanseido supporters aside, those who had been drawn to the idolization of conservative politics seem to have shifted back to supporting the LDP, now led by the very embodiment of that phenomenon, Prime Minister Takaichi herself. Support for the Japan Conservative Party has also dropped by about 1 percentage point since the October 4 LDP presidential vote. Even accounting for the party's internal disputes, this suggests a similar conservative voter return to the LDP. According to the so-called Aoki rate, a cabinet cannot survive if the sum of the cabinet approval rate and the LDP's party support rate falls below 50%. Conversely, another theory holds that if the total exceeds 100%, the ruling party is poised for a landslide victory in a general election. Given this, speculation about an early dissolution of the lower house and snap election is unsurprising. Another notable trend is the inverse correlation between support for Nippon Ishin no Kai and the DPFP. Around October 15, DPFP support dropped sharply while Ishin's support began to rise, clearly reflecting the impact of coalition negotiations. The DPFP, which had long emphasized policy over politics, failed to join the ruling coalition or secure the prime ministerial nomination. As a result, supporters now see less chance of policy realization. The wave of enthusiasm that had buoyed the DPFP since autumn 2024 has now subsided. Meanwhile, Ishin no Kai, whose support had been trending downward, appears to be regaining momentum thanks to its entry into the coalition government. However, this rebound is mostly seen in the Kansai region, while support in the Kanto region has remained stagnant. Whether Ishin can fulfill the nationwide role once played by Komeito as a coalition partner remains uncertain. The DPFP has seen its largest declines in Tokyo and the Kanto area, where it had previously been strong, while its relatively small Kansai base shows little change. Although the so-called Takaichi fever is clearly underway, parliamentary realities show that the coalition with Ishin will be the foundation of the government's operations. How much of Ishin's policy agenda the LDP can accept will be key, and meaningful policy achievements are expected during the current extraordinary Diet session. Therefore, an early general election this autumn, based solely on high approval ratings, now seems less likely. Discussions about reducing the number of parliamentary seats, including the balance between single-member districts and proportional representation, are ongoing. Both ruling and opposition parties agree that careful deliberation is needed, meaning that conditions for a general election under a new seat allocation are not yet ready. For now, the Takaichi cabinet is expected to focus on tackling pending issues left by the previous administration, such as gasoline tax cuts, within a framework of proactive fiscal policy. If the combination of honeymoon optimism surrounding Japan's first female prime minister and the renewed conservative enthusiasm continues to outweigh traditional drags like political funding scandals, the Takaichi administration could maintain high approval ratings for some time. Should those ratings remain in the upper 50% range by spring, a path toward dissolving the lower house and calling a general election after passage of the regular budget would come clearly into view.